Hey everybody, welcome on TikTok. How are you guys doing? Hoping you can hear me and see me all right. Welcome everybody on YouTube. Let me know if you can hear and see me all right. Before we go ahead and get started, I want to get some thumbs up here. Now, if you guys are on either one of these platforms and they're not working for any reason, go ahead and switch to the other. TikTok and YouTube are both at Ask Ivy, so either one works the same way. All right, looks like we're doing pretty good here on TikTok. All right, I'm good with video and audio. Hello. All right, excellent. So just waiting for a thumbs up here on YouTube. All right, Apple Science, very good. Thank you so much. So what we're doing here today is my seasonal. Are you a psychic, medium, or empath? What is going on with your intuitive abilities? If you don't know what you have and you are having experiences that you can't exactly categorize, you can go ahead and post now whatever it is that you're going through, any curious experiences that you've been having. Or if you just want to, find out what exactly is happening with you, you can just post, this, what do I have? Now, normally I sell these as an intuitive ability assessment up on my website. So if you guys aren't answered today, you can always go ahead and purchase it there or gift it to somebody else. But I will get to as many of these as I can. All right. So you guys feel free to start posting while I let people tune in. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple quick announcements. So the first big announcement here is Ivy's Healing Call Center, open 7 days a week from the comfort of your own home whenever you need it without an appointment. You can go ahead and receive a reading or a healing from one of my phenomenal, graduated, certified light workers. Okay, so Ivy's Healing Call Center just expanded. We have 8 new readers and healers. You can go onto the website in the description box above or below, depending on how you're tuning in tonight. That's going to be at ivyriverapsychicmedium.com and book with your reader. So check it out. We also have coming up on May 1st at 2 p.m. at the hauntingly beautiful, I love this place, Margin Manor Winery. I'm doing my biannual Victorian tea gallery reading with private reads after. So tickets are on sale now. So you're going to want to go to marginmanor.com to get your tickets for my Victorian tea gallery show. All right. Again, May 1st at 2 p.m. Now that's out in Appleton, New York. Beautiful drive out there too, all along the waterfront of Lake Erie. Then we have coming up on April 24th is a raffle drawing. If you have not gotten your raffle tickets yet, go grab them now up on the website, again, in the description. And these are $2,100 value tickets to win, to be entered to win a 100% free psychic mediumship course. And we have class starting for the psychic mediumship course on April 25th. Registration is now open. If you guys have not been on there yet, or if you're on the early bird wait list, okay, the doors are now open to get your seat. It is limited seating. All right, so again, psychic mediumship course starts April 25th. The raffle drawing to see if you won a free course is April 24th. We also have on April 24th my free Taste of Psychic Mediumship class. This is a 3-hour training. You can attend in person or through Zoom. Again, that is also limited seating. So go check it out on the website. Get yourself registered for that Taste of Psychic Mediumship. That's going from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. And also on the 24th, we have our Margin Manor Winery Psychic Fair showcasing certified light workers here from the Academy. So you can do wine tasting, go out there with friends, do something fresh, do something new, get an amazing reading from one of my workers. And that is running, let's see, again, in Appleton, New York. Okay, that's where Margin Manor is. And that's going from 1 to 4 p.m. All right. I think I have gotten to pretty much everything. Looks like we have a bunch of people tuning in. All right. And my volume and everything is good. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome. Nope, I lied. Let me fix TikTok real quick. All right. There we go. Hopefully that actually fixes it. We'll see. All right. Am I back on TikTok? All right. Very good. So welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak, and I own a school called Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally online, and we are slowly getting back to in-person in everything, ranging from psychic mediumship development to tarot, Reiki, astrology, numerology, paranormal work, empathic ability, meditation, you name it, we do it. We train children as well as adults, and all of the classes at this point are downloadable. So you can go on to Ivy League psychicacademy.com to check them out. If you are here on YouTube and you follow me regularly, you know the drill. I have a ton of free mini classes up in the playlist under mini classes. If you're here on TikTok, you may want to go over to YouTube at Ask Ivy and check those out. I've been doing a free mini class pretty much every week since the pandemic hit. So at this point, I have quite an accumulation. And what you guys have caught here tonight is my seasonal class/show. Are you a psychic, a medium, or an empath? Where I tell you what abilities you have. And if you don't know what your abilities are, you only know that you're having some very curious experiences, I want you to type those in the comment section now. We're going to be taking your questions. And if you just want to find out what it is that you have going on, you can also post that. What abilities do I have? What do you see with me? Now, if I don't get to everybody, and I'm sure I won't, you can always go on to the website and book yourself what's called an intuitive ability assessment. It comes back to you as an email, like a voice clip. Okay, or you can give that to somebody else. If you've always been wondering, what do you have going on? I will tell you. All right, so this is always fun. I do this class right before a psychic mediumship course, because if you guys are in debate as to whether or not you have these abilities going on, it's good for you to know now before you go ahead and enroll. All right, so we hope to see everybody at class, of course, because everybody has these abilities. But yes, some people do absolutely have it to a heightened degree, and everybody is different. So my beautiful producer, Mairead, is going to be popping up your questions here, and I'll get to as many as I can. All right. Again, if you're new, if you're just tuning in late, please give this video a thumbs up. Do subscribe. And if you want to become a member here on YouTube, hit the join button for your monthly horoscopes, all kinds of extras, direct spirit messages, and stuff of that nature. All right, let's go ahead, Mairead. If you want to get started, let's see who's first. All right, so from an Alexia Oliveria. Hi, can you please tell me about my abilities? Thank you. All right, so Alexia, the first thing that I'm getting with you is a lot of psychic ability. And I feel like over the course of the last 3 years, this would have been increasing for you. So when we're talking about clairvoyance, we're talking about accurately predicting the past, the present, and the future. What we really want to be doing with this in your case is feeling out through discernment and judgment what is positive and what is negative. You have a tendency to look at people and situations and be able to predict whether they are high vibration or low vibration, but you do second guess yourself. You're double-minded and you procrastinate. So I would say that with you, one of the things you need to do is to eliminate the need for proof, eliminate the need to see more, to wait till the other shoe falls, right? You don't need a house to fall on you to know that someone's bad news, that a situation isn't going to work out. Trust your gut. Your judgments psychically are on point. And if you were a little bit more cutthroat, a little bit faster about setting your boundaries and making changes, you would have a whole lot more prosperity in your life. Okay, so if I were you, I would focus right there for a while. All right, we have another one coming in from a Jasmine Hamlet. Do I have any gifts, please, and thank you? Okay, so I want you guys to post your situations, your curious experiences that you've had, and I could take a look at those and tell you what those abilities are that are connected to that, okay? Or you could do what Jasmine just did here. So Jasmine, what abilities do you have? All right. Well, the first thing I see with you is mediumship. And I would say that this is really important when a spirit comes in to try to channel through you, that you are making the decision whether or not this is going to be physical, AKA trance mediumship, or this is going to be mental mediumship. I train all my students in mental mediumship. That means we set tight boundaries with spirit and we say, you are not coming into my energy. You're not using my body, my mouth to communicate your messages over. You can tell me, or you could tell my guides what it is that you want me to say into my space. Okay. So one of the abilities that you have is mediumship, but it is so strong that you may find periodically spirits feel that they can enter right directly into your physical space, and it's grossly inappropriate. I would also be very, very careful for any kind of drug use or drinking. This makes you highly susceptible and really incapable of blocking them out at all. Okay. Hope to see you at the Psychic Mediumship course. We have another one here from a Hunter Santiago. I keep seeing things out of the corner of my eye. I feel things and energy in my body. I also seem to hear my name a little too often. Okay, so I'm going to have you lead this one up a minute, Mairead, because he mentioned 3 different things. I want to address each one of them. All right, so seeing things out of the corner of your eye can really increases your mediumistic abilities increase. Now, we see this with children around the age of 3. And then we see it change as the brain develops over on the right side between 5 and 6 years old, where we stop seeing spirits with our eyes and we start seeing them up more in our mind's eye. Now, it never completely goes away. When you're dozing off at night and the veil is lifted between the worlds, or you're waking up and the veil is lifted between the worlds, you may see again. You may see more clearly what spirits are actually around you. And it can be a little shocking. This can also happen when you're meditating or when you're very relaxed. It will also happen if you're in the room with another empath, another psychic, another medium. It's almost like we activate each other. So we start to see, typically, as the ability increases or returns, out of the corners of our eyes. Now, the energy in your body coming through as tingles and hearing your name called, these are really possibly 2 different things. So hearing your name called, this is, again, mediumship. Spirits are calling you. Is it appropriate? You got to set boundaries. You know, you have to let them know they shouldn't be yelling at you. They shouldn't be trying to grab your attention when you're trying to sleep, you're at work, you're trying to concentrate. You can set times when you interact with them and that's appropriate for you. I would, again, check out the class here, the Psychic Mediumship course, to learn how fully. But you also have to be realistic that sometimes it's your guides or it's your ancestors coming through and they're trying to catch your attention, let you know what's happening. And that is important. And you don't ever want to dismiss when it's them. Okay. But I think that the tingling in the body could also be coming from Kundalini. It could be coming from your empathic reactions to other people or energy in the atmosphere. It could also be coming when a spirit comes in a little bit too close or you're receiving a download. Okay, we can move on to the next one. We have one from a Paula Farmalucano. I'm sorry if I butchered that. I recently was able to see my great-grandpa in my mind's eye and have been channeling songs about a person, and got it confirmed a couple of days ago, can pick up the abilities that I have. Okay, so based on songs and seeing your grandfather in your mind's eye, okay, what is that all about? Well, that's mediumship, and that's the way mediumship works if you have something called clairaudient abilities. Clairaudience is the ability to hear spirits in your head as though it is your own inner voice, your own inner dialogue. When we go to an old folks home and we sit next to someone with dementia or Alzheimer's, or if you're ever in a hospital and someone has schizophrenia, you would be able as a medium to hear what they're hearing, to understand the spirits that are trying to communicate with them. I call it playing both sides of the fence. Okay, so you kind of got 1 foot in each world. And that's what mediumship is all about at its best and at its worst. So when you have clairaudience, you need to be guarding your thoughts at all time, because it's not only spirits in the light that want to come through and put thoughts into your head, solutions, song lyrics, messages for you to hand out to others, whatever it may be. There are also negative and lower spirits and energies in the world that want to come in and put toxic thoughts in your head. So you may be prone to things like, depression, anxious thinking, paranoia, self degradation. You may have a tendency to pick up on negative thinking about yourself or your life circumstances, because those are toxic, more paranormal energies that are coming in also to manipulate your mind. It is a tremendous ability to have. All my students want it. It's one of the things we focus on really heavily in the curriculum to trigger that. But some people are born with it. And if you look back at your family line, you would see that there were quite a few other people who either didn't handle it well and it led to mental issues, or those that did handle it well and they were constantly prophesizing. Okay. Then we have another one here from TikTok on Almond Martin. What abilities do I have? Let me let this car go by. What abilities do I have? I see spirits and can channel them while I'm reading about them. Okay, well, I think you pretty much just answered yourself. So what abilities do you have? That in particular is mediumship. Now, mediumship really tends to work with people in two different ways. You can either reach out and ask for it, or it's following you all the time. So if you're reading about it, if you're deliberately sitting down to offer a reading to someone, if you're trying to connect, that's one way to connect to spirit. The other flip of the coin is that it may bother you. It may keep you up at night, especially between 3 and 5:30 in the morning, the haunting hour. Spirits are activated during that time. And you may find too that when you're around other people who really need a message out in public, or even people from someone, especially if they're recently deceased or there was not a proper goodbye, like with COVID, that they're coming through quite urgently. And so you would definitely see an increase in that. Do you want to say thank you to everybody for the donations? I forgot to ask earlier. Okay, feel free to donate. Absolutely appreciated. From TikTok at Laura 54944. I've always been able to know something is going to happen before it happens to me and my friends. What does that mean? Ooh, my ear is ringing like crazy. So that means a couple different things, right? So that's prophecy. That is the ability, like when I saw 9/11 come, right? And my ex worked in the towers. We got out with 9 days to spare. I will see incidents before they happen. This is about the information that is out there in the ethers, in the universe, you being able to access that information with accuracy and help other people, prevent situations, make decisions in your own personal life. And what you really need to do with that is perfect your craft in regard to like timeline and detail, because one of the common misconceptions with prophecy is that it's gonna happen. It's destiny charted. It's written in the stars. It's a guarantee. And it isn't always. Okay. Like me getting out of 9/11, it isn't always written in that way. Could it happen? Yes, it could happen. Do you have free will, and might it be preventable? Absolutely. So when you learn how to read different situations, you will be able to say whether or not the person can get involved and manipulate the dynamics, the energy of the circumstance, or if it's a given and this is what's going to happen. And that can make a tremendous difference in delivery. Okay, we have another one coming in here from TikTok. Oops, I think that was a two-parter. Okay, so we have another one from TikTok at Melanie011. My dreams come true and I'm often visited by loved ones. What are those abilities? All right, well, being visited by loved ones is not necessarily mediumistic. We all receive visits from loved ones at different times, and they do typically happen through the dream state. So those are called visit dreams. See my dreams class up on the website to learn more about the 3 different kinds of dreams that we have. However, when you have dreams that actually end up happening, this can feel a lot like a deja vu. These are vision dreams and prophecy. And so what we tend to see is that your dreams will increase. And eventually you're going to have spillover into your waking hours, so that it's not just through the dream state that you're able to see things that are going to happen in the future. It starts to happen all the time. And this is when your psychic ability is really peaked and you need to start training and learning what to do about it. Because once that starts happening during the day and you're having visions all the time, it can become a bit disruptive. Okay. Right, we have another one coming in here from a spiritual hippie. I often zone out when walking. I've seen a spirit take on my mother's appearance, and sometimes I black out. All right, so nosebleeds, blacking out, numbness in the face, the mouth, the hands, the blurred vision, translucent lines, all of these things are common side effects of being mediumistic. We need to be really careful we're not getting misdiagnosed. And I am not here to prescribe or diagnose, but these are common things when you have this ability. So, what we are going to have to do is, again, to learn to maintain. All right. So, join class, learn how to control it. I'm not just bringing you guys into class to like open up Pandora's box and teach you everything and throw you, off into the deep end. First, we are maintaining what you already have going on. I am trying to help you to control the energy so that you dictate. You are in a position of power to use your abilities wisely and when you choose to, in what way you choose to. But when we are talking about the other thing with your mother, we're talking about the doppelganger effect. So seeing someone that who isn't actually there. The myth, and this is a myth, okay? The myth was always that person is about to die. That is not the case at all. However, the doppelganger effect is more of a paranormal situation. And you guys could check out my free mini class here on YouTube on haunted houses, possessions and attachments. There are a couple. And this can signify that you're maybe having some paranormal problems. Okay, that your mother is having some paranormal problems. Completely different topic. That's what that is. From an Elizabeth Wise, I always see things before they happen and feel others' energy as it shifts. There's always a gut feeling. Okay, so, and Elizabeth is a student of mine also. So one of the things that we start to notice as we feed more of our intuition are the subtle details, the very, very subtle changes. And you're going to notice it first and foremost in big groups of people. So if you're like at a meeting, if you're in a bar, if you're in the grocery store, and then you're going to start to notice it with individuals. So a great example is if you've ever been at a party, you've ever been out at a bar, you've ever been at the club, and it's just like, all of a sudden the energy starts to kind of go down and like everyone's drunk, right? Or everyone's high. So like no one else seems to be noticing it, but you immediately go, this is my last shot. Time to go. It's time to get out of here. Subtle energy shifts like that a lot of people may overlook, you're going to catch before they even happen. And it's basically a movement from high vibration to low vibration or low to high. And when it happens in an individual, you may want to start watching, not judging per se, but definitely watching for changes in their character. I often find that when someone's energy ever so subtly has shifted from a high to a low vibration, some true colors are probably about to come out. Okay, maybe time to pack it on up. Thank you so much for the donation, Apple Science, and anybody else who donated. I'm not always seeing them on the side because I'm also like in my head. Okay, but I do see more. Oh, Tamara, thank you also for the donations. Greatly appreciated, everybody. All right, let's move on to Tamara Schlack. I believe my past self visits me in my dreams. You guys are making my ears ring like crazy. Okay. I'm just going to stop for a second. I got to say, like, listen, the right ear ringing. Okay. I talk about this all the time back before anybody ever talked about ear ringing, right? 10 years ago, I was talking about this. This is like a tinnitus. It's a pressure in the ears or like a seashell's up to your ears. When it is on the right side, it is your psychic ability kicking in. The grandmothers used to say left for love, right for spite. And that's fairly accurate. The right ear is not necessarily spite. It could be a warning, though, or it could be a heads up about a big opportunity. Pay attention to that right ear ringing. The left side, the grandmother said it was love. That's pretty close. It's mediumship, right? All right, let me try again. Sorry, Mairead. Go back to her. Okay, sorry. I'm hoping if I talk about it, it will go away, but probably not tonight. There's too many of you here. So Tamara Schlack, I believe my past self visits me in my dreams to communicate with me. 100%. So on the last video I did here with you guys, it was my 2-year anniversary class. You can see that in the playlist here on YouTube. And somebody asked about this. Couple people asked, is it possible if somebody reincarnates to still communicate from spirit, like your ancestors or your own self from a past life? 100%. So when we think of time, we don't want to think of it as linear. We don't want to think of it as like A to B or an open and closed chapter. It's circular. Everything is like a spiral from your healing to your lessons to your lives. Okay. And when you choose to reincarnate and come here, you have an accumulation of who you were. I always say that's your higher mind. It's like everybody you ever were, anything you've ever done, all of your experiences in one package. And you could tap into it at any time. And when your past self or selves have something important to offer you, like a warning or direction or a skill set, they will come through and you'll be basically working with your own self. This is very, very common in dreams. And it can seem almost like you can't put a finger on who you were dealing with the whole time, but they seem awfully familiar. It's literally you. It's wild. All right. So we have another one coming in from an Apple Science. What do you sense for me? So the first thing I'm sensing with you is a little bit of stuck in the mud energy in regard to your psychic ability. Say you bought a bunch of tarot decks, or you've been drawn to like pendulums or crystals or other things, possibly even something like Reiki or medical intuitive work, because you have something called thought of hands, meaning you could put your hands on something without looking at it, and you can, feel what color it is. You can feel the energy and tell a story from it. We use this with psychometry when we hold on to an object from maybe someone deceased, and we can channel and tell stories from that person, right? And so you have these different abilities connected to psychic ability and remote viewing, being able to find things in your mind's eye, but you don't seem to move forward with it. So if you were the kind of person that takes 1 step forward, 2 steps back, you hem and you haw, you procrastinate on what it is that you're supposed to do with it next, or what you're supposed to do with it at all, I would say just do it. Just get started. And this is really a message for everybody. If you've been stuck, register for the class. If you've been stuck, get a tarot deck. If you don't know what to do, do anything. Do anything you're supposed to be doing with the information that is channeling through you or to you, and allow yourself to toy with it. Don't charge people and don't consider yourself a master yet. But the more you explore, the more you feed it, the more you engage with it, the more you will get. I would start there. From TikTok, Sam AP. Why do I think of people within my mind, and within minutes they are calling me on the phone? Excellent question. So what is that? Is it telepathy? Is it psychic ability? Are we somehow connected and we have a contract with this person and it's important? It's really probably more like clairvoyance than anything else. Now, it can be these other things for sure. If you have cords with someone, if you have a karmic contract, soulmate contract, you're going to feel them all the time. You will predict and know where they are, even if you haven't spoken in a decade. You're going to feel their energy all the time. If this is coming from telepathy, you are essentially able to hear their thoughts. So if somebody thinks of you, you will almost get it like the phone is ringing, okay? And you'll know that they're about to reach out to you. You can also feel when someone is thinking about reaching out to you, or they're thinking of you a lot, but maybe they don't. So maybe you have an ex who pops in your head all the time, but you never hear from them. They're probably pulling and tugging at your energy and thinking a lot about you. So you can detect it that way as well. But this can also just be straight up clairvoyance. And that means that because you're psychic, you can predict when different movies are going to come on TV. You can predict when songs are going to come on, when the phone's going to ring, what platform on social media there's some good activity going on. And it's a very useful tool for sure. All right. We have another one from a Tenaciously Brilliant. Hello. How are you? I made a comment earlier about flames flickering when in the line of vision. What is this flame? Literally goes in and out. Okay, so in your line of vision, you're seeing lights. I would always say, because I can't prescribe or diagnose, check with your eye doctor, because I understand that there are a lot of things early on with vision that can come in and out and things like that, so be mindful. However, most of my students and myself, we tend to again have a lot of issues with vision, and that includes things like the translucent lines, seeing things out of the corner of your eye. It can be dark spots, lights flickering, cascading lights, all kinds of things. So it sort of depends on what circumstance you're in and what it is based on who's around you. Now, I would say that this is common to see with angel activity or female ancestors, female spirits coming in, to see flickering lights, cascading lights, or even almost like orbs of light in your vision. Very common with mediumship. We have another one here from TikTok at Pixie of Anarchy. This is bizarre, but one time I saw my boyfriend lying in our bed, but physically he was 30 minutes away. Okay. Well, he may have been doing something like time travel or astral travel. There is some old research on astral travel from these lawyers who used to toy around with it. I can't remember the guy's name at the moment, but they would actually, the three of them would get together and they would travel out of their bodies through like a meditational state, right? Astral travel. They would leave and they would go into other law firms and like dig through files and things like this and win cases. And I have been to groups where people claim, I have not seen it, but they claim that they were in a group of people. They were all meditating and doing astral travel, and that whoever was out the furthest and hadn't returned, that their body disappeared and things like this with astral travel. And I talk about it in my dreams class up on the website. And I have had this happen to me where people have seen me in their house and I'm clearly not in their house. What was I doing? That's another story for another day. But like, I may remember it and I may not remember it. We can be in multiple places at once, and we don't have to be dead to do that. Okay. So clearly he was traveling. And it does remind me a lot of time travel. All right. We have another one from TikTok at Feels So Good. Hi, can you please tell me my gifts? I am always drawn to feeling like I need to help everyone, but I can't figure it out. Well, that can be a bit of a burden connected mostly to empathic ability. I have a couple free mini classes up here called Trauma and Intuition. The highest level empaths tend to be those who went through abuse, trauma, some type of difficulty, especially in their younger years, but it can also be activated by any type of life circumstances. And one of the things that can happen with that is that you almost have a parentification situation with empathic ability where you feel you need to take care of everyone. You feel you need to fix everything. You feel that the world crumbling is your responsibility. It can keep you up at night, and it can end up sort of pushing you around and dictating your life course. What you need to do is check out the empathic awareness class up on the website and get control over that. You should learn to stay in your own lane and only do what is for you to do. Fulfill your life contract, leave the rest up to everybody else's life contract. But when you have this ability, one of the other things you would also notice is that everybody comes to you. It's not just you feeling the need to help them. It's also them coming like moths to a flame from every direction all the time, 24/7 at the bank, in the line at the grocery store, on social media. People come and they tell you their life story. They dump on you all the time their problems, and you're everybody's cornerstone. You kind of can't get out one way or another. So the best thing you can do is to learn to manage it. All right, we have one from A Black. Hi, I see shadows out of the corner of my eye. I tend to wake up in the middle of the night seeing someone beside my bed. They tend to leave quickly, like not wanting to be seen. And I may dream of them. Yes, for sure. So when we are dozing off or we're waking up, we say that we are between the worlds and the veil is lifted. It is obvious who was in your dream at that time because they're literally standing on the side of your bed. They're in your room. They're up in your face. They're turning into shapes and shifting off into the upper corners of the room, outdoors, into closets, okay, under the bed. I mean, wherever they go, right? Not to say they're all bad. I mean, most of the time they're not. This happens all the time. So positive and negative, that's what it's going to look like. Now, when they have a lot of resistance to you seeing them, and this isn't necessarily mediumistic, but it can be significant of mediumistic abilities, which I do feel you have to a heightened degree. But when they tend to not want you to see them, it can be that they're feeling that the message they were trying to give to you or the help, the assistance they were trying to offer is done, and they don't want you to be upset by it or feel uncomfortable with it. They want to be welcome to come back later and help some more. It's the spirits that are laughing, staring at you up in your face. They're being provocative in some way. That's where we know we have a problem and we would have a paranormal situation. Okay, we have another one from a Crystalline Claiborne. I hear ringing in both of my ears. Ugh, join the club. It's the worst. I don't know how we go on. I really don't. It's like so hard to stop it and control it. I go deaf at times. Yes. Okay, for sure. My lips feel like they have electricity going through them and I have premonitions. All right. Well, if you tuned in a little bit late, Crystalline, or if you had posted this before I got to some of the other ones, I don't know, but it's basically all the same thing, right? So when we have an overabsorption of energy or there are downloads, right, messages coming into us, we are going to have some physical reactions. Unfortunately, those physical reactions are quite disruptive. That is heart palpitations, anxiety attacks, perfusive sweating, numbness in the face, the mouth, tingling in the hands, translucent lines, through your vision, and ear ringing incessantly. So what you need to do is train. You need to learn the language. Know that every time it's happening, you're picking up on it from somewhere, whether it's psychically, it's mediumistically, or it's empathically. You could be picking up on it from a cup of coffee that you just touched and you shouldn't have, or the guy next to you in line at Starbucks, right? Or from a spirit that's trying to communicate. You need to learn the language and start controlling it, because the physical reactions are probably the worst of all of it. And it takes a while to train yourself to calm them down. All right. So Cool Beans asks, I have a lot of paranormal experiences that I'm scared of. I don't want to tell people because it sounds crazy. What are my gifts? So I think we need to be careful. Also, I say this a lot about using words like crazy, because the medical field and the therapeutic field, if you call it that, would be more than happy to label us as psychotic, medicate us, and say that we have disorders. So check out a couple classes here on YouTube in the playlist called The War on Intuition, and another one called Therapy and Spirituality, how they're intertwined. All right. So it's not crazy, and we need to be careful that we are reducing our use of words with things like that, because we want other people to feel safe in coming out. We need to start building a community of safety, okay, in our world, to discover what intuition actually is and get off the meds and the misdiagnoses. So if we could go back to that, actually, Mairead, I don't know if I remember what she said. Something. Okay, so I have a lot of paranormal experiences that I'm scared to tell people of. Okay, well, fear feeds fear. Ego, which is fear, manipulation, and control, feeds more ego. Ego is a food source for paranormal activity. So the more afraid you are, the more paranormal activity you have, because they're eating it up. And so what you're going to want to do is to get educated on the paranormal activity that's going on. You can book a paranormal consultation with me. You could check out a class up on the website called Hauntings, Clearings, and Detachments, and you can learn what it is that's happening. And if you understand the source of it, you can better control it and get rid of it. But the first thing you're going to have to start doing is to use less fear and more curiosity. All right. So I want to say you've got to look it right in the eyes. You have to, instead of saying that every paranormal experience you have, because that could be anything, that could be positive or negative. Those could be spirits from the light or the dark. It could just be something weird. It doesn't mean it's bad. Right. So if we start to say that every paranormal experience that occurs is bad and we react to it with fear, then we're going to like run and hide. And that becomes a food source for real paranormal activity to come in or more paranormal activity. If you are curious, you are saying, I'm going to stare right at you. I'm going to check out what this is. I'm going to study this thing and I'm going to figure it out. Okay. And we should really remember at all times that mediumship is the perfect metaphor for life. When you are living your life, you need to say with people and circumstances and situations, I'm going to look right at you and I'm going to study. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to allow myself to be intimidated and I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to get the upper hand. Okay. So treat everything in the spirit world the same as you should be treating your life in the day to day. From TikTok at Blue Angel XXX. Hi, Tara here. I wish I would have seen that first. Okay. Hi, Tara. What are my abilities? Let me see what you have going on here. So the first thing that comes up for you is psychic ability. The second thing close in right behind that is mediumistic and from a grandmother, mom's side of the family. So some people have mediumistic abilities to a heightened degree, and that is often hereditary. So if you were to look back at grandma, mom's side, even a couple generations back, we would see more of this. It just keeps coming. Now, they would have had a direct line. Okay. So when like people will ask me, where did you train? What books did you read? How do you know this? I did nothing. I'm born intuitive. When you're born intuitive, you can usually go back and thank your ancestors for something like that. And so it's something that was innately there from the minute you entered Earth. You don't know any different. You may not have even known you had it because you assumed everybody had it. So one of the things that you have, going on here is a lot of channeling, and you may not necessarily be doing it, but over here to your future, I see a lot of opportunity for you to take messages that are coming in to you and deliver them out with accuracy, with confidence, and most importantly, with an attitude of being of service. Don't be afraid about saying it. Know that it's not about you. It's not about your ego. It is an opportunity for you to just open up your mouth, give the best healing message, and be of service as you possibly can, and show gratitude to yourself and show gratitude to spirit for coming through and giving that healing to somebody else and giving you the opportunity to work with it a little bit more. I would definitely entertain it going forward. Okay. We have another one from PJ on TikTok. Sometimes I feel like I can read my girlfriend's mind. I know what she's thinking before she says it. Does this mean I'm psychic? Not necessarily. So that can mean that you're telepathic, which is actually connected to level 4 empathic ability. And so when we hit the levels 3 and 4 empathic ability, we develop 2 new things: electric person syndrome, which means you're going to blow out light bulbs, drain batteries, shut down computer systems. You're going to affect electronics and things like this around you. If you're really upset, you're really excited. Okay. It's kind of like the movie Carrie. Then what we have also is telepathy development. And telepathy is typically going to start with paranoia about people around you who are talking trash behind your back. Maybe they're vying for your job. Maybe they're thinking negative thoughts about you. But then it moves into those closest to us, where you could start to hear the thoughts of people like your girlfriend, family members, maybe your ma, your kids, something like that. And then, it's even like your dog, your cat, and you can communicate back and forth that way. So I would look more into the higher levels of empathic ability than I would the psychic ability. Not to say you don't have both, because you do. Joanne Simone, I have always been drawn to this field, but I can't seem to connect. What abilities do you see me having so I can focus on them? I think you have all 3. So I think that focusing on, I understand why focusing on just one might be hard for you to do. Which one? When? Well, anytime, anyone is the answer. So it's about you being motivated and using your free will to sit down and dedicate yourself to actually doing it. Some of the things that you could do that I think you would have a lot of accuracy in, and it would actually help you to level up in a big way, is to use some kind of a tool. So whether you're scrying, like looking into a crystal ball or fire or water or tea leaves or coffee grounds or tarot cards or whatever. Okay, so you're looking at an object, but you're actually kind of looking through the object into the right side of your brain where your psychic ability is activated and it's telling you things. You may notice, let's, for example, say you're looking at some tarot cards and you don't even know what the meaning of the cards are. You may not be trained professionally, but you notice a cat in the tall grass. And so you're able to say the message is that someone's sneaking up on you, you know, someone's spying on you and watching from a distance or whatever. Your mind is automatically in tuned to things like that. I would say that this is a strong suit for you, and that if you were to focus more on your psychic ability, aka your clairvoyant ability, through the use of a tool, you're going to find automatically that your empathic stuff and your mediumistic stuff is just kind of unrolling and revealing itself to you as two other separate gateways to messaging. Okay. All right, let's move on to, we have, I just want to say for everybody who tuned in late, please do give this video a thumbs up. Donations are appreciated. We're taking your questions about what intuitive abilities you have. And if I don't have time to get to you, you can always go onto my website. The description box has the Ivy Rivera psychicmedium.com, and you can purchase for yourself or gift to another person an intuitive ability assessment. Also, if you missed the announcement in the beginning, the psychic mediumship course registration just opened. It starts April 25th. All right, so Yvonne Marr says, I have a lot of activities in my dreams. How can I tell which is related to my abilities or anxieties? Again, the dreams class up on the website breaks down what is subconscious dreaming, which could be your stress dreaming, versus past life dreaming, visit dreaming from spirits, astral travel, lucid dreaming. And, you know, sometimes you have to understand that you are dealing with things, not even necessarily from your day-to-day life that is stressing you out, you need answers to. That's what the mind does. But sometimes you're dealing with things even from a past life, or you're working out and trying to find resolution with somebody that you have a contract with in your life. There are all different kinds of things that go on in dreams. And I would have to look at each dream individually. You can submit a dream analysis through my website too, and break them down and see what the other symbology is and the activity. But if you are finding that you are regularly stress dreaming, I would highly recommend that you do two different things. First of all, take the class and learn the lucid dreaming techniques so you can better control your sleep state and make sure it's a relaxing, healing time, because that is your sacred time and space. And number two, I would look into some of the problems that you're having, maybe do some shadow work, you know, maybe some therapy, some time where you sit every day, maybe for 10 minutes, and you just allow your brain to process things that are not working for you in your life, and be willing to look at those situations and relationships and accept them and lean into resolution so that you're not doing it all night long. Okay. We have another one here from TikTok at the Nature Gay. I don't know if that's the Nature Guy or the Nature Gay. I kind of love it either way. Can you tell me what gifts I have? All right, let me see. So the first thing you have is prophecy. You may find yourself, especially if you've had a couple drinks, which I don't recommend, okay? But you may find that if you smoke a little bit, you drink a little bit, you pop a couple pills, whatever it is, okay, whatever your poison is, you may find that you are spouting off some really, you know, spot on information to other people, incredibly accurate. You may seem judgmental at times, but your discernment, your judgment on situations and people and even timelines is very accurate. You are able to do this, obviously, while you're awake. That's what I'm talking about, but also in your sleep. So prophecy, visions about the future. One of the other things I'm feeling for you is messenger of death syndrome. and mediumship. So, you have mediumistic abilities to a heightened degree. Spirits always coming, communicating with you. Do not let them enter into your body. It's unacceptable. They don't need to be doing that. They don't always know better. So you have to set proper boundaries there. But that messenger of death syndrome is something that bothers a lot of people. You may predict accurately when someone's going to die, develop a disease, have a terrible accident. You may do this with people that you know, and you may do it at a stoplight on the road with the guy in the truck next to you. You just know he's going to have a heart attack later on that day, whatever it is. And so this is connected to that same psychic ability. All right. It is often considered a bit of a curse. I think that it is a gift, and that if used wisely, it can prevent many mishaps from happening that just don't need to. Okay, so get into it for sure. The Nature Gay. From Tara on TikTok, I know I have some abilities. Where can I learn more about these? Do you have a class? I do indeed. Thank you, Tara. You would think I planted her here, right? Very clever. So yes, psychic mediumship course. Starts April 25th. Registration is now open. I train you in your psychic, mediumistic, and empathic abilities because I want my readers top notch, not boring, hitting it on the mark with accuracy every time. So I will be opening up Pandora's box for you and triggering your abilities. Once they are opened, you cannot reverse them. So be serious about entering into the class. It is going to take you to many new levels, and intuitive ability cannot be reversed. However, one of the other things I'm doing with you in the class is figuring out what abilities you have that are out of control, that are maybe causing for you to have some discomfort, anxiety, and other things in your life. And we're going to get those under control before we open up Pandora's box with new abilities and take it to new heights. So yes, absolutely. Everybody ends up here eventually, because any other trainings you get, this is unmatched internationally. They're going to have gaps. And a lot of them out there are actually ripped off from my curriculum. So they're bits and pieces of what crooks could take. So this is the real deal, the full package. It's 2 semesters long, and you get certified through the academy. And then you could start working for my psychic fairs, my call center, our monthly events, and all kinds of other good stuff. It's a ton of fun. Hope to see you there. We have one from TikTok at Millie Mills. Hi, I feel like I have some sort of ability, but I'm unsure. Do you know what they are? One of the things that you're very skilled at is paranormal work, and you may find that you're always living in a haunted house, or that you're drawn to people who have paranormal activity following them. Something you definitely have to be careful of and protect yourself from. This is highly connected also to being able with like death doula work or hospice care, or in my curriculum, we call it death coaching, being able to help people cross to the other side and being able to help earthbounds even cross over into the light. This is also connected to criminal investigations, missing persons, remote viewing. So you may have a lot of accuracy in being able to find someone who's missing. Or if you have an object, let's say, from somebody who was murdered, you could hold that object and you can, in your mind's eye, go back and relive that situation and find things like addresses, license plate numbers, things like this. So it doesn't sound like they should all be connected, but they are actually connected. Okay. All at the root of it is clairvoyance. We have from TikTok at Abby1140. I knew my cousin was pregnant months before she announced it. How do I know things like this? Well, a couple different things. Messenger of death syndrome, which I talked about a minute ago, is also closely connected to what we would say are pregnancy predictions or presenting dreams. So we will, through a series of usually 3 different presenting dreams or visions, know when someone is about to have a baby. You may also find that with that ability comes some not so nice things, like predicting other things like illness, disease, death, tragic circumstances. And so you want to really just embrace all of it and understand that if it isn't there yet, it may happen in time as you continue to entertain this. And it's essentially you being able mediumistically and psychically to pick up on energy that is dynamic and coming up in the future. Okay. Right. We have another one from TikTok at Big Apple 161. What abilities do you see for me? How do I get aligned with those abilities? I think the first thing that you need to deal with is your mediumistic ability and your empathic ability. So you are level 3. empathic ability, this can create a lot of discord in your life. This is where we are prone, I cannot prescribe a diagnosis, but to misdiagnoses like bipolar disorder, ADHD. So, we could see things like social anxiety, OCD-like tendencies, stomach problems, headaches, sleep disturbances, a lot of general nervousness. This is really coming from an overabsorption of other people's energy, as well as overabsorption from the atmosphere's energy and objects. Okay, then you've got on top of that mediumistic abilities. And so spirit is also trying to communicate with you. When you've got all of this going on, you can feel very uncomfortable in your own skin. And like all you want to do is hide away, be alone in a room, never deal with anybody, even if you don't consider yourself an introvert. You can shift very, very quickly from being an extrovert to an introvert when you hit those higher levels of empathic ability. So I would start there. Okay. Once you get things under control, so check out the empathic awareness class up on my website or the psychic mediumship course. It's a requirement in the psychic mediumship course. So you're going to have to take it anyways in the second week. But I would start with one of those. And once you get that under control, I would start feeding the mediumship next. Okay. Stefani Mitchell says, what abilities do I have? You have a lot of psychic ability. You also have a lot of healing abilities, which is closely connected to empathic abilities. I'm filling you on a level 2, going up into a 3 within the next 7 to, I want to say 9 months due to some circumstances that are going to happen. So we have to remember that different things that happen in our lives trigger us, okay, up into higher levels. I have a free mini class on here called Intuitive Increases. And so you're going to want to check that out. But essentially what you're, going to find that you're doing is making, I want to say, more accurate predictions for people and having more of a drive to say what it is that you're thinking, what it is that you're feeling. And this seems to also be connected to some healing ability, which is connected to a past life, or I even want to say 2 different past lives. So some of your healing ability in the past was like mainstream medical. I almost see you working with people who, I don't know if I'm looking at like the plague or the pox or I don't know. You were real good at it. I mean, you didn't have a problem touching people. You didn't have a problem like being near it. You didn't panic even like being near it. So you seem to intuitively know what can be healed and whether or not you're in danger. You may have been doing this with COVID the whole time, where you were like, I can go into the store. I can't go into the store. I can walk by these people. I should not walk by these people. I will buy this loaf of bread. This loaf of bread is polluted. There's COVID on the packaging. I mean, this energy, right? All connected to healing ability and illness, let's say. Now, one of the other things I saw you doing in a previous life was working with herbs, food as medicine. So you may be drawn to things like nutrition. This is a little less clinical and a little bit more, I guess we could say, holistic, which is ridiculous. Okay. It's really our roots. We should be turning to healthy food instead of medication from Big Pharma. But anyways, let's say it's holistic. Let's say it's new age. I don't know, or organic. You are going to be looking more into how wellness and health are, I want to say, grown and maintained by what we ingest into our bodies and better ways to do that. Now, does that make that not intuitive? No, it's absolutely intuitive for you. And it is part of your natural empathic healing abilities. You're just not necessarily going to want to do it all the time with something like psychic surgery or Reiki or hands-on healing. Okay. You'll be looking at other routes. Okay, let's see, do we have time for one more? I think this is probably the last one. Okay, so we are going to, again, if I didn't get to you, go on to my website and book yourself an intuitive ability assessment. I'll send it right over to you, tell you what abilities you have. So from TikTok at Divinely Guided, I think I have abilities, possibly clairaudience. Will the upcoming psychic mediumship course help me with that? Yes. So one of the first things that I do in the course is I break down all the clairs. So we're talking about clairsentience, clairempathy, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairvoyance, all of them. And what we're going to do is sort of break you down and figure out exactly what you have. And then we're going to increase in the areas where you're lacking. And then we're going to take what you have and we're going to alter it to level it up. And I do this through many, many different exercises, which I do not educate you on. You're not going to know when they're coming or why you're doing different things. And I'm going to trigger it and increase all of those. Yes. Okay, clairaudience. I will also just say this because that's a great question. That's the one everybody wants. Everybody who comes to my course wants to have clairaudient ability. That is the ability to just sit and have spirit tell you things, and you hear it in your head and you say it and you say it and you say it. It comes with a lot of ear ringing or tinnitus. It happens mostly when you're in the bathroom, when you're in the shower, when you're brushing your teeth. The native belief behind this is that it is they're conduits, so you've got the mirrors, you've got the earth, the porcelain, the water, and so communication activates. Everybody wants clairaudience. Even if you don't have it, you should come into the class. I'm pretty good at activating it for people. And once you have it, mediumship becomes very, very easy. Okay. And that's what we need. We need to start bridging these gaps. Okay. We need to be communicating with spirit on a regular basis for ourselves, for others, to heal the world, to get us back in touch with our roots. So I hope you guys check out more of these classes. They're free, obviously, here on YouTube at Ask Ivy, up in the playlist. And I do want to encourage you guys to check out next week's free mini class is Parenting and Spirituality. That's going to be Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, back here on TikTok and YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for the donations. Again, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you, Spirit, and thank you, Maraid, my beautiful producer, for doing such a great job. Have a great night, everybody.